Hello and welcome to Freedom March. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Levan Miller. And you're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM. Or you're listening to us on channel 224 or on channel 112 or on ILTV Studios or wherever you're choosing to listen to us. We say thank you so much for listening. I'm joined in studio today by Bradley Roll, the spiritual advisor extraordinaire for the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Make no mistake about that.
Happy Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Happy almost Friday.
Yeah, we almost there.
Man, God is a good God, eh?
The weeks just fly by so quickly, though, honestly. I don't know where the time is flying. As a matter of
For
fact,
the people that say that to me, I often ask them, does your watch not have 12 numbers on it?
But time, I don't know, unless you're really occupied, it doesn't seem as if the time is just flying. Because I could just remember, the first day of the week just passed a couple of days ago.
Really?
Now we're headed towards the first of the week again.
I'm anxiously trying to get to Friday. I live every day
tomorrow.
of my life for Friday.
Yeah, another
so
couple
as soon
hours.
as Friday come, I say, yay, Friday. But then you wouldn't believe what happens next. Saturday comes. And you know what I start doing immediately? Praying for Friday to come.
Well, you get Saturday. Saturday's a long day. And then you get Sunday. You got a day to do some things as well before the first working day. Monday is not the first day of the week. Monday is the first working day of the week.
Right.
And you have some time.
We agree that Sunday is the first day of the week.
Yeah, it is. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah. So it's been happening in around Nassau on your end, Bradley, on a Thursday.
Well, today was a pretty warm day.
Not as bad as earlier.
No, I think
there's a gentle breeze out there. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
The forecast has the thermostat at about 82 or 83.
I never just listened to that because I feel like they just measured that underneath a mango tree or something. And nowhere I've been was 83. It could be about 88 or 89 out there.
And then we can drop down to about 79 tonight. Which is,
wonderful. Bless the Lord. Nice
outdoor,
outdoor kind of weather. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we have Holy Scripture today, for sure.
Definitely.
All right, we're going to get into a little bit more of that Holy Scripture. And the Church of Christ was with us yesterday.
Let
me say congratulations
wonderful interview
again on that interview that we did yesterday.
That's a wonderful interview.
Yeah, and
really enjoyed by a lot of folks, actually. I was surprised with the feedback. People did enjoy the interview. They thought your questions were so fitting, and the response was fitting indeed.
And I was so excited to see that someone among the Church of Christ was from St. Louis, Missouri. Misery. It holds an interesting place in my memory forever. I've had some great days there, though. We'll talk about that and more when we get back on the next side of the break. I'm Levan Miller, and this is Freedom March. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us through the break. I'm Levan Miller, and you're listening to us on channel 103.5, the Beat FM. Let me just send quick shout-outs really quick. I want to do this. So I have people that listen to me every day. I'm so excited to have them listen to me as often as they are doing it. It's fun when my friends tell me that they tune in, yeah? And so to my friend, Mr. Cruise and Adventure himself, Demetrius Hepburn, special shout out to you, Demetrius Hepburn. I hope you're not in the place that you were yesterday when you said you tuned into the show, because I want you to be delivered from that, all right? But if you are, then I'm sending a special shout out to you. And then, of course, I want to send a special shout out to a lifelong friend of mine, Little Redhead. A special shout out to you. And I have one more shout out to Spiritual Advisor. Who is
Good.
it?
You showed
And
everybody.
to my good friend, they call him the Birdman because he's ready in any weather. So I have a friend of mine, he's my regatta buddy. And you know those people who the regatta lasts for 5 days and they got 6 days with a partying in them?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, he's one of them people, right? Like, he misses nothing. Hey, I don't care where on this island you all put it, he could get to it. I don't care how long it lasts, he could be there the whole time. And you know the motto, you know the regatta motto? You
What's
gotta
that?
come out early and stay out late. That's how you win, right?
Come on early and still
You
late.
gotta come out, because when you lay off, that's when they just pay off. So you can't go home early, right? And so that's the regatta motto, right?
Regatta.
Yeah.
You mean
And-
the boating regatta, the Bahamian sailing thing?
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you know I am a senior regatta? You know that about me, right?
Okay, what does that mean?
It means that ain't nobody more senior at going to regatta than me.
Yeah, it's such a fascinating sport to see those guys all get on one side of the
You
boat
should see the
with
goods.
the huge sail and
You should see the
navigating
goods.
through whatever it is they're
Well,
doing.
boy, if you think the boat's fascinating, my goodness.
The girls should be on the boat. too?
Oh,
I didn't. No,
wherever they
I
are.
thought it was only men doing that sport.
You think I going out there to look at mine?
Okay.
Sometimes I look at the boat, I say,
Honestly,
wow.
I don't see women on those boats though.
Sometimes I go to look at the boat, I say, wow, nice boat. And then as soon as I finish looking at the boat, I say, wow, these are some nice knot boats walking up and down on this regatta
No,
site.
okay.
Yeah. So,
On the beaches.
to the Birdman Daddy, special shout out to you, my friend. He says he listens every day on the drive from Wake. He done break the knob off in the car. The car only could go on one station now. So he don't want nobody switchy radio when they get in this car.
Yeah, and we appreciate that. There are a lot of people who do listen to us
Yeah.
daily between the hours of 4 and 6.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate all
And
the listeners. We appreciate especially our Facebook followers as
Yeah.
well.
I also have to shout out the Twin Towers, the North Tower and the South Tower. The last two people from SAC that I just tolerate. I stopped tolerating SAC people, but I do
Yeah.
have an application on my desk
Dawn
for
and
Ralph
Diane?
McKinney. Huh?
Don and Diane?
No.
They're-
Charlotte
they're-
Hour
they're
and
Twin
Anya
Towers.
Rule. The Twin Towers. That's
Dawn and
what they're
Diane.
affectionately called. No, I just told you what they name. And they're the last two people from SAC that I tolerate, but they have put in a special application and said that I should consider Ralph McKinney as well.
Oh,
I don't know.
Ralph
This-
is my boy, man. Ralph is Defense Force Officer Ralph.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Force
man.
Chief Petty
Ralph is my
Officer,
boy,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, but
I
this.
think Ralph is stationed at the U.S. Embassy, eh?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's where he is now.
My SAC tolerance list is a diminishing one. Hubert Minnisman there. I don't know. I think SAC had a couple of rough spots that we can't explain. And so, I like to let them air out a little bit. All right. So, and then of course, last but not least, my soup when it rain contact, Big O, the Exuma boy where you from? Farmers Hill? He from somewhere, a Rollville. I think he's a
Rollville. Yeah, well,
I think he's a
that's
Rollville.
my roots, Rollville.
No, he's a Smith, so he ain't from Rollville. He from Farmers Hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Black Point.
Yeah. Or it ain't the forest. He ain't from the forest. You can't be a Smith from.
Okay.
Yeah, you could be a Smith from Black Point because that's where.
There's some Smiths there, Dudley in there.
Yeah. Oh, what is the name of the man that I know? I'll get his name. Sure.
Alpheus.
Huh?
Alpheus Smith.
Ben Smith. Them from.
Okay.
You remember Ben used to run the race. The red lady or the red slipper or something like that. The sailor.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, spiritual advisor. Every day you go into the belly of the scripture and you come back for us and you
We
tell
have to
us
go deep.
what does Holy Scripture have to say. So tell us.
Yeah, well, listen, we're going to kind of like piggyback off a call yesterday. A young man called, and for some strange reason, I know he's convinced that Jesus and God don't have the same essence and power. He don't believe that Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit, even though they're separate, they're still one in power, one in essence, and one in purpose. And so he quoted a scripture, and let's look at it. I think it's in the book of John 14 and 28. And Jesus says, you've heard me say, I am going away, and I am coming back. He was on earth at this time, and he was speaking to his disciples, just shortly before his crucifixion. He says, if you love me, you will be glad that I am going to the Father. For the Father is greater than I. And so this is a fact. Jesus Christ was on the earth, and he was in subjection and submission to the Father's will. He took on the form of a servant, and as a result of his position here on earth, he took on human flesh. And so all of the power and authority that he had, all the majesty, he actually gave it up. And he took on the form of a servant, so it made him a little lower. All right, as a matter of fact, Jesus' position on the earth at the time, he was even lower than the angels. I can guarantee the callers tell you, no man, Jesus ain't lower than the angels because Jesus created the angels. Yes, and that is true. Jesus was involved in creating the angels, right? But at one point, at one stage in Jesus' life, he was even lower than the angels. So this passage here, Jesus says, the Father is greater than he is. The Father is greater than I am. It's correct because of his position on the earth. Producer, the next passage to show you that Jesus being, Hebrews chapter 2, I think it's verse number 9. Here's what the author says. But we do see Jesus, watch this now, who was made lower than the angels for a little while. You understand that? He was made lower than the angels just for a short time. Why? Now crowned with glory and honor because he suffered death. So by the grace of God, he may taste death for everyone. Once Jesus took on that form of a servant and became humble to death on the cross, because he came down and took on human flesh, he lost his position temporarily. He lost it. So the Father's greater than he was, and the angels, while Jesus was in that lowly state, human flesh, the angels was greater than him. Verse number 9 says, but we do see Jesus, who was made lower than the angels just for a little while, now crowned with glory and honor, because of his present state now, because he suffered death, so that by the grace of God, he may taste death for everyone. Now, there are times when you read the Bible, it does seem as if it contradicts, but it doesn't. You just have to look a little bit more close at it and study it a bit more so you can get clarity. You put all the scriptures together and you try to understand the message. Because on the surface, it does seem as if there's a contradiction. Jesus says, for I and my Father are one. Then at one point he says, the Father is greater than I. What does this mean? Why it seems as if he's either switching or contradicting himself? No. Now here's this last passage, and this is the cliffhanger. In the book of Philippians, I think, you got to understand this. This Jesus, who being in the form of God. You see that? He was in the form of God, you know. How could you be in the form of something and not be that thing itself? Who being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made himself of no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. You see what happened? And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. Watch this now. And that every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of the Father. Therefore, my beloved, as you always obey, not only my presently, but now, much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Flip back for me a second. I just want to make this quick point and then we're done today. Jesus was in the form of God. He knew that he was equal to God, you know, because there's no reason for him not to think that way. But he made himself of no reputation. He took upon him the form of servant and was made in the likeness of man. So once Jesus Christ took on human flesh, he lost his position. for a short while, as we read in the other passage. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. So the Bible does not contradict. Sometimes you may be looking for something, you think that's what it is. It's not always that. The Bible is a very, very fascinating book. You have to understand it. You got to read it, you got to study it, and you got to put the scriptures together so that they could more or less complement each other. I know there are times when we do read certain passages and you say to yourself, man, this ain't making no sense. Yes, it does. The Bible makes complete sense. It's just a matter of studying and understanding what the various passages trying to say. All right, so yes, Jesus Christ is God. He is the Father. He is the Son. He is the Holy Spirit. Make no mistake about that. And of course, the Bible does not contradict. He was made a little lower than the angels. The Father was, when he said the Father was greater than I am, it was because of his lowly position. He took on human flesh and he humbled himself and became obedient unto death on the cross just for a short while. And there you have it. Thank you so much, producer. Very, very powerful passages indeed.
And even if you consider the prayer that Jesus did, Father, make them one.
Even as you and I
are one.
That's deep.
Yeah.
May they be one in us so that the world may believe that thou hast sent me. Powerful prayer in John chapter 17.
Yeah. And so in and around now, so there are several things that are happening. I see that the political parties are in the business or in the process rather of getting their do you call it advertising when it's a political party, or is it all called campaigning? Getting their advertising going, right? And so I thought as I began to look around, that I would keep my eye out for this kind of stuff because I'm very interested in political campaigns. I'm very interested in political messaging. I'm very interested in branding and how do we go about all this stuff, right? And there was one that I saw today that just got my attention, right? And maybe it's the way my mind works. Maybe it's Maybelline. Who knows? Do we have the Fox Hill branding? Put that up for the people to see. I don't know, but if I couldn't like read, right, or if I don't know what it would take. So if I just had to like do an artistic rendition, or if I had to deconstruct this thing for an English assignment in college, right? It almost looks like Dr. Nicholas Fox is looking for a hole in Fox Hill. And he wants you to give him your hole in Fox Hill. And if you give it to him, he will keep you safe and sound and he will fill your hole with Dr. Fox. That'll make you safe and sound the whole time. I don't know if I completely agree with this branding. And so I asked ChatGPT, is it common that foxes have holes? And ChatGPT told me, yes, it is actually quite common for foxes to have holes. And sometimes they go into holes that they didn't dig. So to the people of Fox Hill, it appears to me, if I had to deconstruct this, just, for an English assignment, lend Dr. Fox your hole that he could find a home in South Beach, in Fox Hill. Yeah?
I don't know.
I think it's interesting. Put the branding back up. I think this is...
that's fine.
What is the message? Put the branding back up.
The Fox represents his last name.
Right.
Dr. Nicholas Fox.
But why did he
he just put it by the zero? By the O?
But why? What exactly is the message? Because everything is branding and messaging.
No, he's Dr. Nicholas Fox.
I don't disagree.
He's running in the Fox Hill constituency.
So if there's a hole in your heart, Dr. Fox can fix it, is what you're saying. Dr. Fox would like to fill up the hole in your heart.
I don't know if that's what that's saying.
What was the purpose of it is my question.
Because Fox Hill. Mm-hmm. There's three things you can look at. Fox can be used as a noun that gives you the person's last name. It could be used as a thing or animal, and it can be used as a place. Fox Hill. You see that, right?
That's kind of wide. Fox
Hill is a place. Fox Hill could be a last name, and Fox could also be an animal.
Right.
There you go. So I think it's a perfect thing, man.
So in Fox Hill, if you have a hole, Dr. Fox would like to put his fox in your hole and satisfy you.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's weird. What does this
Fox,
is
you got
weird,
you got Fox.
thing.
You got Fox. The word
If
Fox.
the former member of parliament or the present member of parliament has left a hole in your heart so big, we have the perfect answer. You could just fill it up with Dr. Fox and he will fill you up with joy and happiness. What is the purpose of, and the next
you got
thing
a person.
And here's the next thing.
You got a place.
Here's the next thing.
And you got a thing.
Here's the next thing. Why the Fox going backwards? All of the text goes this way, right?
Yeah. The arrows is pointing to the right.
The arrow going this way. Where the Fox going?
That going forward.
How could the Fox
And the
be
Fox is going. The Fox face is pointing in
Oh
different.
boy! If the F turned this way,
the Fox face is placed in the opposite direction.
right? Why the Fox going?
Because his mouth is pointing towards the F.
You saying exactly what I saying? Why this Fox going backwards?
Okay. I think you're making something or nothing. Don't make sense.
You might be right.
You're trying to make something or nothing.
You might be right. All I'm saying is, as somebody who studies, looks at, enjoys, deconstructing.
All that's going on in this country.
Yeah,
And
but it's politics now.
We can pick on this.
What is going on in the country that you'd like to talk about? Because I look at this is the first piece of branding that I'm seeing, right? And I'm trying to get. One of my English scholars helped me. There's actually a thing that you do in college in English, right? Where they give you little paintings or drawings or it's not in college. It actually is in student development. Have you ever done student development in college?
No.
Okay, so if you do student development, sometimes they give you a painting or a picture or a small clip and they let you watch it or they let you view it and then they say, deconstruct what you see and give us your thesis statement about what it is that you have observed based on the painting or the drawing. And according to the people who own colleges, they're supposed to give you critical thinking skills. Okay. So don't tell me that I ain't using the thing they give me in college.
Yeah, that's what you're
so
doing.
I'm stretching my critical thinking ability, correct?
I guess so.
Okay, according to the college, that's what the college told me. Now.
But mind you, when you look at it, how ironic it is, foxes do have holes.
Foxes love holes.
Yeah.
Yes, actually, it's their favorite thing.
So that's fine.
And so all I want to know is Dr. Fox in Fox Hill looking for a hole to fill with love,
a political hole,
and joy. Maybe a hole in your heart, who knows? But in Fox Hill, Dr. Fox wants to fill the hole in your heart for now and forevermore. We'll be back after the break.
This segment of Freedom March is brought to you by Modernistic Garden and Pet Supply. For top quality dog food, shop online at modernisticgarden.com or visit our Palmdale, Carmichael, and Mullet Marathon locations today.
Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you for staying with us through the break. I'm Leland Miller. I think I'm going to open up the phone lines early today. You know, I like when the Spirit of the Lord speaks to me. If we were in the Bible, this would be the portion that says, "And then came the Spirit of the Lord unto Leland, saying, open up the phone lines early today," because that's what I feel led of the Lord to do. And I'm going to invite everybody to call today, you know. Even the little crazy woman. Crazy woman, you make sure call. See this? I even ain't got the whistle around my neck today. I keep it on the table, right where you can see it, because I want you to know that you are safe from me today. I don't know. I'm not blowing the whistle on you today, so you can feel free to just say crazy things on the TV today, and you don't have to worry about me blowing the whistle on you, okay? We have ads, Spiritual Advisor?
We do have some commercials. The Work Center located Rosetta Street across from Roberts Furniture is your one-stop shop for back-to-school Dickies, Timberlands, and many, many more. Come on down and let us, their friendly staff, assist you with getting ready for back to school. Are your dogs hungry and tired of low-quality food? Give them the best in Modernistic. We carry all the top brands. Taste of the Wild, Diamond Naturals, Victor, Anukshuk at the lowest prices in town. If you're on a budget, we've got 50-pound bags starting at just $49. And for limited time, buy any large bag of dog food and get a $10 coupon redeemable on select dog toys and treats. If you can't make it in, shop online at www.modernisticgarden.com and we'll deliver right to your door. Your pet deserves quality. Your wallet deserves savings. Shop in store or shop online today. Hurry, offer won't last.
Thank you, Spiritual Advisor. So, you know, I love to do these things because I like doing these kinds of things.
Silly season.
So I went into ChatGPT, right? Because why aren't you using ChatGPT? In ChatGPT, when I asked the very simple question, do foxes have holes? ChatGPT answered and said, they do indeed. Foxes typically live in dens, which are often referred to as holes. And when they're dug into the ground, the dens can be self-dug or abandoned homes of other animals like badgers or rabbits. Why do they use these holes? Because of the structure. They're tunnels with a main chamber for sleeping and raising cubs, plus an escape route. Location is commonly in wooded areas or grassy fields or near human settlements, and the purpose is for shelter from predators. And so, put Dr. Fox's thing back up. When I saw it,
he's looking for a new home.
and that's all I asked him.
And that's fine, because
So it's
the
the
home
fox
is now occupied.
looking for a hole in Fox Hill.
Yeah, he's looking for a new home.
And that's all I asked. What exactly, put the branding back up, symbolism. And I don't need to explain to you what symbolism is because you're a Bible scholar.
Okay. They mean something.
Right. All branding means something. We lost the branding name. Put Dr. Fox's thing back up, please, producer. I don't really know. It just, okay. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a graphic artist.
Well, he's going to have to be creative now. He's coming after the incumbent, Fred
Right.
Mitchell. So
So
starts with this.
Let's see if we could agree on some things. All the text on this flyer going in one direction. You agree?
All the text.
Yeah. Dr. Nicholas Fox, that going in one direction. Fox Hill, that going in one direction. And it is even reasonable to argue that the torch going in the right direction because the torch could have been on the right-hand side. You agree?
All right, so you're making...
So all the text go in one way.
Yeah.
Even the little arrows. You
So
agree?
you're saying that the fox should go in another
The
direction.
only thing going the next way is the fox.
So the fox is backwards.
Something, I don't know. But I'm saying to you, first of all, why we have this backward fox, right?
I believe the fox is pointing towards the F.
He going towards the hole.
He's in the hole already.
You sure? Because he on the edge of the hole to me.
His whole head is in the hole.
Well, maybe he should take his head out the hole until he get to going the right way. He going the wrong way.
Well, look at this.
Shouldn't the fox be going the same way as the arrow?
No. So here's what I'm trying to figure out now. Okay, let's look at this logically now. If when the fox comes
To the hole.
right?
Right.
Does he reverse into the hole, or he goes in head first and then turn around?
I never been a fox.
That's something to think about.
I never
Because
been
then
a
this
fox.
fox here could have entered that crack there,
Uh-huh.
He's finding his way in, looking to see what's going on.
Okay.
Once it's safe, he's going to turn around and look.
So
the
you're
other
saying
way.
that Dr. Fox is looking for a hole in Fox Hill.
Right.
And he wants it for shelter
He's
usage.
spying out the place.
And he don't mind if it was somebody else's hole before.
So he has to come inside to see what's going on. Once he's satisfied that things are safe,
Yeah.
then
So I asked
He spins his head the next
ChatGPT,
direction.
is foxhole a usual term? And the ChatGPT responded and said, yes, it is a usual term. In the military, it is most commonly commonly refers to a shallow pit dug by soldiers for protection during combat. This meaning became widespread during World War I and II and is still used in the military discussions today. I can confirm that. In the animal kingdom, while foxes do live in burrows, the term foxhole isn't typically used in zoology to describe their dens. Instead, words like den, burrow, or earth are more common. Now, this is the one that gets my attention. Figuratively or metaphorically, sometimes it is used to describe a place of refuge or a defensive mindset. For example, a foxhole mentality in leadership or a crisis situation. So yes, the usual term in military and metaphorical context, it is a usual term in military or metaphorical context, but not the go-to word for the actual fox's home. And so that's all I wondered. If you were going to, because you know that's called personification. You know that's what it's called in the English language. Y'all can go Google these things, right? Because see, people just like to row and row and row and row and row. And I tell you, the goal of Freedom March, I don't know exactly wherever or whatever else you listen to throughout the day, but when you come here, the goal on Freedom March is to inform, to educate, and then to entertain you. So you could go to those other places and listen to vapid nonsense, and whenever that is done, you could come across here, and we will try to give you something of substance that you could hold on to. Yeah?
okay.
Fantastic stuff. Now, what I was saying, because I'm 40 now, I always forget.
Just looking at personification.
Personification. Do you know what a personification is?
Represent a quality or concept by a figure in human form.
It is figurative language.
Yeah.
So, a personification is when you take an object or something that is not a human and you transpose human meaning or characteristics at it. The mangoes were peeping out of the bag. All right? In this instance, this might not be a metaphor because the fox is an actual living thing and not an inanimate object, right? All I'm saying is if you're trying to cross-reference the human with the animal, right, we have to also look at symbolism, right? So that you don't end up with idioms. Is that the word?
Okay.
Right? Like, what is an idiom? Oh boy, this stuff is in my head, you know. Like oxymorons and that sort of stuff, yeah?
So,
And all I'm saying is whoever put together this graphic design,
it's fine though.
it's-
fine. I mean, it's creative.
Is it?
Well, it got you thinking.
you might be right.
It got you
But that's
thinking.
only because I
the
do
whole
student
idea.
development in college. What about the people that didn't do student development in college?
Anyhow,
Before
So
I
that-
did student development, I mightn't even seen this.
that may not matter to them
Okay.
because they're not going as deep as you're trying to go.
Okay.
But
So the fox is not looking for a hole in Fox Hill. Because if you say yes, then I would like to know, is it a hole in the people's heart?
but there are a lot of holes in Fox Hill.
Is it a hole in the
politically?
people's heart?
There are some people in Fox Hill who may not be satisfied with this current administration's performance.
Right.
And as a result of that, Dr. Fox could be the man
And that's all I ask. Is that an unreasonable question?
who can-
What type of hole
who
is the
can
fox
find
looking
the
for?
hole in their heart.
Yeah. You know your heart here now. You got to stay
But
focused.
now, I'm glad you mentioned that, because when the Bible speaks about the heart of the man, it's not talking about the organ that pumps
No, it's
the
talking
blood.
about your mind.
Ah.
Yeah.
So there may be some people in Fox Hill who are not satisfied with the current administration performance,
Right.
and Dr. Fox
And the fox is looking
is
for a
looking
hole.
for a hole
Yeah.
in their heart
Yeah.
so that he could get them to vote for him.
Yeah. You see how
That's
that
all.
isn't pugnacious at all?
Yeah, you see?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I just thought it was interesting graphics. I wasn't sure what was the symbolism. And I just wanted to ask. And I have an opportunity to ask. And now guess what? All the people whom have an opportunity to ask. What kind of hole is Dr. Fox looking for to hide in Fox Hill? Who would have it? Where would it be? Etc., etc., etc. Why the fox going backwards? I just want to know these things. Because if the arrow going right, I feel like the fox should go right. Yes? Good stuff. Anyway, I see voter registration is beginning to become a hot topic in the news. And it's interesting to me because there's something that is happening simultaneously in the world that is also happening in the Bahamas, that the reports just conflict in my view. So we continue to say that the world's population is the largest it has ever been. However, we continue to also say that birth rates are declining. We've said that birth rates in the Bahamas have declined. Yet we are saying that the register is being shifted because there are increases in the voter registration. Well, don't those two things conflict? If no one having no baby, that means there should be fewer Bahamians. And if there are fewer Bahamians, then how the register keep going up? There is a conflict there somewhere. Same is to be said. The world's population is the largest that it's ever been in the history of the world. The population stands somewhere at about 8.24 billion or there's about. And yet these women still say they can't find nobody to date. It's because they're megalomaniacal. It is a psychological defect and they should go be evaluated and take some sort of prescribed drug for that, all right? Because if God put 8.24 billion people on this planet, and you still walk around here talking about you playing your Spanish guitar every evening when you go home because you can't find nobody who should play your guitar for you, you should go get medication. Because something about that is incorrect. And I tell you what I suppose, I suspect it could be megalomania, but that's not what we're talking about. What we are talking about though is, how are these things correlating or how are they related? How does the world population continue expanding if birth rates are down? And then how is the voter register expanding? One, if we took 15,000 dead people off of it, but if Bahamians are not having babies. Take us to the story from Eyewitness Reference, the voter registration, please.
Topping news tonight with the countdown on to the 2026 general election officially underway. The Parliamentary Registration Department shifting into high gear, working around the clock to finalize logistics. That includes cleansing the voter register to launching a nationwide verification drive. Officials say their top priority is to ensure a smooth, transparent, and credible process. Our Laurencia Smith has the details in our top story tonight.
15,000 deceased voters have been removed from the voter registration since the 2021 general election. Now, Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson says the department is shifting focus on a full-scale voter verification exercise in the weeks ahead. He also noted that attention is being placed on the launch of a new permanent voter registration card, an initiative he believes will bring greater structure, transparency to the upcoming election cycle.
We'll go into every constituency and we'll invite the voters to come in. We check their credentials and then we verify that they're the person and they're living in this particular constituency and at this particular polling division and this particular street.
As of June 30th, there are 194,579 registered voters across the 39 constituencies. The Boundaries Commission is set to present its report to Prime Minister Davis this August. Thompson says his team is on standby to implement any constituency adjustments recommended, particularly in areas where voter registration has increased significantly since the last election.
Only in the Golden Isles and Nassau and West Grand Bahama and Bimini and the Family Islands. Yeah, Golden Isles have an increase of about 300 voters since last election. Bimini, West End have about 250, give or take.
Now, with the general election not slated until 2026, the Parliamentary Commissioner is urging all eligible voters to come in and register. But more importantly, he's encouraging those who have already registered to ensure that they are in the correct constituency.
You vote, you'll have to vote on a colored ballot. So your vote don't count unless there's an election card or something like that.
With a heightened political activity and voter interest already building, Thompson says the department mandate is clear to deliver a fair, efficient, and transparent election process.
And so I wonder about these things, but spiritual advisor, I'll tell you what stands out to me. It sounds like Bimini might actually end up as a standalone constituency.
Okay.
It sounds to me as though there might be a split in Golden Isles. And what was the other one? West End? It sounds like there may actually be a restructuring of the West End seat.
And what about Kalani?
They didn't mention that in the report.
Okay.
They said Golden Isles has gone up by, is it 250? And then Bimini has gone up by about 350. And of course, you know, West End and Bimini are tied together. And I suspect that the majority of that 350 is on the Bimini side. Because you could just drive around West End and see that there's not been a massive expansion in the population there. But if you go to Bimini, you see the contrary, yeah? Okay. And so, I don't know. I mean, I will tell you this. I would love to see a standalone Bimini seat. I think their economy is doing fantastically well. And they could very well be a standalone seat. I don't see why they couldn't be a standalone seat. I think the West End and 8 Mile Rock constructed seat, is that the 92 cut? I think that was the way it was in 92. Would yield good benefit, right?
So we got some boundary changes. And
That is basically what Harrison Thompson is saying.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm very...
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
I'm very...
Sorry about that.
What?
I'm
What?
trying to see what I was trying to do, because I think you were looking at this logic that apparently the birth rate is not increasing in the Bahamas, right?
The birth rate isn't increasing anywhere
But
in
the
the world.
rest, but what about the Bahamas?
No, it also isn't increasing
Right.
in the Bahamas.
But apparently you're saying that the voters registry is increasing.
Right.
You know what's happening there, right?
Well, there could be one of two things. One of two things.
Because it seems as if once you have a passport, you can register to vote.
Right. So you could have people that had, like yesterday, I met a man who told me he's 35 and he's never voted in his life. I was bewildered.
Or you can have people who are, because when you look at the newspapers, so many people are applying to be naturalized as Bahamians.
Agreed. So you could have people.
Given passports.
Yeah. So you could have people that have been. Okay, now let's remember His Learned Lordship and very save Justice, Chief Justice of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, Ian Winder, in his ruling, and in a ruling upheld with the Law Lords of London at the Privy Council, have all agreed that a child born in the Bahamas, either of whose parents is a Bahamian, that child shall be registered as a Bahamian. Yeah? And so remember now, there is a plethora of people that affected.
That's the correct wording of that?
Plethora?
No. Either whose parents are what?
Are Bahamian.
Oh.
And that's what the law say?
What if they're non-Bahamian? What if you're born in the Bahamas but your parents are of Haitian descent?
Well, if you're born in the Bahamas and your parents are of Haitian descent and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force and Chad Adams, Big Bad Chad and the Waist Snatching Brigade, if they ain't grab you, then at 18, you have a right to be registered.
Yeah, we understand. Yeah, but what's happening now, though, this is a very serious controversy that's swirling around
Or a
the
right
country.
to apply. Is it a right to apply?
The Haitians are not coming on boats anymore. They're coming to Bahamas Air now.
Then all you need to do...
At least once a week.
Then all I need for you to do, a spiritual advisor, I don't know if that was a voice from the Lord you hear or where you get that intel from, right, is firstly inform Shanta Knowles, and then let me assure you of this. If you miss and tell Chad Adams where he could find some illicit or illegal or unlawful entry into the Bahamas, Chad Adams and a bus full of strong waist-snatching immigration officers will meet them wherever they are. And when you see Chad Adams and the waist-snatching brigade reach, guess what has happened? Everybody they catch is turned into the tiptoe brigade.
Yeah, but if you come to the Bahamas legally, if you are able to buy a ticket, get on Bahamas Air, and come to the Bahamas, come through the Lyndon Pill International Airport.
And then overstay your time like how Bahamians is doing in America.
You go through immigration. Immigration then stamps your passport, and I think you can stay for 6 months. Or I believe, I'm not sure. Now, here's what I'm trying to figure out. How do they track in the system? And I guess they can't. I don't know if they do that. They don't put every single person that comes to the Bahamas a visit. They don't put you in the system.
What do you mean? Of course you're in the system.
Okay,
Isn't
so
the whole thing
that means then that they can track you.
That means they
after
certainly
6
know
months.
who didn't leave.
Okay. Do they come after you?
You in here, I tell you, Chad Adams and the Waist Snatching Brigade, don't mess around, beloved. I just saw them on Cordova Avenue the other day with one bunch of people.
But you recognize that people that just end up disappearing into the society, right?
Then I telling you,
and they don't leave.
they cannot outrun Chad Adams. You didn't hear me, eh?
Every day I see
If
it.
you think Big Bad Brad was a big deal, my friend, I want to introduce you to Big Bad Chad. He don't play.
Okay.
And immigrants stand no chance.
I see there's a big problem with that.
Yeah.
The country is facing a serious situation.
The country
I'm
for
hoping-
fifth. Hold on, spiritual advisor. The country. See, because you have to be very careful. Bahamians have what I call jaded xenophobia. We don't have no problem when the South African come and Billy Hotel and make
Don't
all
say
of
that.
us his
Don't
slaves.
say that. Don't say that.
That's exactly what
Don't say
happened.
that. Don't say that.
We don't have no problem when the Oriental immigrant come.
we have plenty
in
of
his
issues,
big
man.
hotel and make and all of them got their Honda Park and the Chinese people
We have plenty of issues.
parking lot acting like they wait for the Ritz Carlton. Or
We have more Filipinos here that shouldn't be here.
I don't disagree, but I'm saying our xenophobia is only Negro xenophobia.
I doubt that.
We don't. The Filipinos going by the little money place every day and sending copious amounts of money
Yeah,
out
but
of
they're
this
doing
country.
it legally because
And
they get approved from
But
Central
Bahamians
Bank.
don't have no uproar about that.
Well,
But you let one Negro colored immigrant miss and have one piece of prosperity in his life.
the Frenchman?
And all of a sudden, or Guyana, or anywhere where they ain't not Negro. And all of a sudden, Bahamians just want to cry Voldemort and bloody murder. It's crazy to me. And I want us collectively to decide if we are unaccepting to all foreigners, because I see they like to go up by our white foreign friends, you know, the Americans and the Canadians and the people from the United Kingdom, and cut cake with them, and throw confetti in the air with them, and blow trumpet with them, and all kind of things. We love it. Oh, we can't wait till the Americans invite us to something. We can't wait till the Canadians invite us to something. Oh, and if by chance the Europeans invite us to something, we just put on our European suit to go. Because we only like non-white foreigners. Oh, we only dislike non-white foreigners. But if you are a white foreigner, my friend, take my word for it.
Yeah. We embrace you, eh?
Oh, we love you. You could come here with no money.
Yeah. Anyhow,
SBF?
no, the thing is, that
SBF?
I don't know if that's the concern is that, you know, we understand the situation with certain tourists that do come to the Bahamas. There are a lot of them who do come here for sanity, and then there are some who come here because,
there are a lot that
because
come
of
here.
opportunity.
And then there are a lot
They don't
that
want to
come
go
in-
back.
And then there are a lot that come in because they consider this place a lawless society and they feel that they could get away with anything. That is also a very reasonable thing.
Well, there's something
Well,
to think
anyway,
about.
now that we're talking about two things, because we talked about what the people will allow, but we won't get to that before the break, so we'll get to that right after the break. But since we're talking about brigades, I want to talk to you about another brigade. Do you know which brigade I want to talk about?
The Boys Brigade?
No. Leon Lundy. You have a picture of Leon Lundy? Put up Leon Lundy. Listen to me.
That's the man from Andres.
From which part of Andres? Because you know you only know one half of the answer.
North, Central, or South?
What you mean North, Central, or South? You can't ask me the question if I ask you the question.
Leon Lundy, the bridges start to get fixed yet?
What you mean? You got the picture of Leon? There he
Yes.
is. Leon Lundy. And so I want to tell you something. Leon Lundy, I call him, have you ever heard about Smitty McCall and the Smitty McCall gang?
Okay.
Have you ever heard about Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid?
Yeah. So, what is
I
it?
like to call Leon Lundy and the Han and Kimber Brigade. Leon Lundy is the one minister.
From the Ministry of Works, when they show up on the job, they
Oh,
say-
yeah. Listen to me.
But see, when you see a man harness in his kimber, he's using his mind, you know.
Yeah.
You focus more when
But
you
I'm
hand the
gonna tell you
kimber.
something.
Because they're trying to figure out the problem.
Now, I will tell you this. Sometimes it takes a while for the Han and Kimber Brigade to get to you. Right? So you say, oh my God, the whole place on fire. They say, don't worry, we can send a team. By team, they mean the Han and Kimber Brigade. So when you call back a week later, you say, y'all ain't gonna believe this. But it's a really, really, really big fire now. They can say, okay, someone coming. When you call them the next week after that, you can say, boy, you really ain't gonna believe this. We done burned down half of Bay Street. Bam! Leon Lundy and the Han and Kimber Brigade will come from out of nowhere. And when they come, all of them is jump with the black Jeep and do this. And when they put their hand and they came up, my brother.
They start to reason things out.
Oh, yeah, immediately.
Yeah, they can fix the problem.
And so tell me the pictures. For 32 years, For 32 years, the people of Arawaki on a full timber, fully salt water surrounded site couldn't get a fire hydrant, even though this, you remember the place burned to the ground the other day? You remember that? Mm-hmm. You know why it burned to the ground? Because they couldn't get access to no water. And the closest fire hydrant, somewhere on Prince George Wharf, that they keep telling me there, but that no one could point out to me where it is. Right? And all I did is I say, boy, I hope you all don't burn down Arawaki. That's what I said. Right? And Leon Lundy's tell me, my brother, I'm not gonna let Arawaki burn down. And I go on and I talk to Jomo. And I say, Jomo, we can't let Arawaki burn down. And you know what happened, spiritual advisor? The Han and Kimber Brigade show up. And the next thing I know, fire hydrants spitting water on Arawaki like a woman who excited to see the love of her life. Anyway, don't move. This is Freedom March. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm Levan Miller. You're listening to us on 103.5 The Beat FM or on channel 224, 112, that's Cable and Flow, or if you are listening to us over on Facebook on IRTV Studios, we say welcome. And remember, I don't say it for you if you're already over here. I'm happy to have you. Now, I'd like for you to get on your phone and call your friends and tell your friends to stop listening to that other thing, to cut that off immediately, and to turn their radio to 103.5 and come listen to us. Because why not do that? That just seemed like the sensible thing to do. Anyway, Bradley Roll, the spiritual advisor, is still here with me in studio. Bradley?
Yeah, we got some birthdays that we're going to do quickly. Producer, when I'm done with these birthdays, do you have a picture of the leader of the opposition? Mm-hmm. All right, so here we go. Stafford and Bristol. We want to send a happy birthday to Mr. Stafford and Bristol. It's coming from his wife, Frances, and his children, and the entire Bristol family.
Okay.
Also, Pelissa Hepburn.
Yeah.
That's P-E-R-L-I-S-S-A. Is that Pelissa?
Yeah.
Pelissa Hepburn. Happy birthday to Pelissa Hepburn, the granddaughter of Mina Hepburn, on her 20th birthday.
This is her second 20th birthday.
Oh, on her second? Man, she's 40.
She older than that.
Man, because I was trying to figure this doesn't look like a 20-year-old woman.
But I want to say this, right? You know, it's amazing how life starts and ends sometimes, spiritual advisor. And so I want to say...
She looks good, though.
That I know her. This is one of my friends, one of my dearest friends. And,
she's beautiful.
And I don't know if she's beautiful. I don't look like that.
But she's beautiful.
Did you put your glasses on?
I like her hairstyle. Okay, producer, just hold that photo.
Oh, boy.
We're going to look at God's creation.
Okay.
Don't forget now, this is what we got for a rib, eh?
Yeah.
So let's see how this rib looks.
This is my rib course?
Let me see. This Pelissa?
Yeah. So I want to say...
So this is... Man, listen. If this is what we got for a rib...
Yeah. You want some change it?
You can imagine what we could get for arm and a leg?
So I met her about 21 years ago. I was a young hotshot running gun Marine seaman at the time, and I had gone to my very first regatta in Long Island. And there I met a little dark-skinned girl by the name of Pelissa Hepburn, who was supposed to have been my chaperone at the Long Island regatta. Well, I'll tell you what happened. I ended up stuck in Sims, Long Island for 5 days with no chaperone because she went and got lost somewhere in Long Island having what the Flintstones would ordinarily refer to as a yabba dabba do time. And when I saw her again, it was time to go to the airport. And I said to her, well, wasn't you supposed to be chaperoning me around? And I said, you leave me stuck in Sims for 5 days with no hot water, with no car. And you know, she says, well, why you ain't called me? And of course, you know, 21 years ago, cell phones weren't what they are today.
No.
They dropped me, spiritual advisor, by this farm in the back of Sims, Long Island, with me and 2 sheep running around, and one fella he owned food store, he owned gas station, he owned bar, so he don't ever have no desire to leave this farm, right? And I said, but I tried to call you, and the phone call, the cell phone wouldn't get no signal. And I had vowed with all my trot, never, ever, 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 ever to talk to her again for leaving me stranded. But 21 years later, she's actually turned out to be one of my very good friends.
She's a beautiful lady.
Yeah, I don't look at her like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's your friend?
Yeah. And
which church she goes to?
You want to go to the Church of Christ?
Yeah, let me invite her to come down.
Wow. So, Pelissa, you hear that? You invited to the Church of Christ?
Highway Park Church of Christ. Please come down Sunday morning. We'd like to meet you.
Wow.
And preach Christ and Him crucified.
Do I have any rich people preaching about Christ? I know she like rich people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, listen, when it comes to riches...
Hold on now, because there's actually a song about this. You know the song? Standing on the rock of ages, I'm rich indeed, but not by Satan's wages.
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, boy. Standing on the solid rock.
Yeah, I know, but standing on the solid rock.
Standing on the rock of ages, and I'm rich, I'm rich indeed. That sounds like a
Baptist song.
I don't know if a Baptist write it.
But yeah, riches, you got to be careful of that.
Yeah, so anyhow, let me wrap this up. Happy birthday.
So we got the leader of the opposition.
Let me finish wrapping this up.
Sorry.
Happy birthday to my friend Pelissa Hepburn, who is 20 for the second time.
She's 40.
And some
you look good for 40.
And she's the only person I know that is happier than a baby billy goat every day of the week, eh?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's go to Michael Pentard now.
And so the leader of the opposition, we understand, is celebrating his boy today.
How old is he?
I don't know.
Not young? That's okay, though,
He
'cause
should be in his 50s.
In what 50s? Mike, there's no way Michael Pentard could still be in his 50s.
I'm 59. He's probably 61, 62 there about.
Michael Pentard came to my school in was it 91 or 92? And he was about 24 or 5 then. He can't still be 50.
Yeah, he should be in his he may be in his early 60s, I don't know.
Let's ask ChatGPT. Because I just can't let you say anything on this TV.
Happy birthday to the leader of the opposition, Mr. Michael Pentard.
How old
we wish you all the best.
is Michael? You named Clifton, right?
Yeah. Birthday is
Clifton.
incoming Prime Minister. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
You see how beautiful that cake is?
It's so wonderful that the cake
With
don't
the
move
peach.
when
I
you
think
write
that
on
has
it.
peach and strawberry and some stuff on it.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, they say, to the incoming Prime Minister, the Honorable Michael Pentard.
And
the
hey, this is
member
why I
of
love
Parliament from Marco
ChatGPT.
City.
ChatGPT says Michael Clifton Pentard was born on the 3rd of July, 1964.
Okay.
Which makes
so
him 61
61
years old.
Good for that.
And we are so happy that you asked this fitting question because today is his birthday.
That's what ChatGPT says?
That's what ChatGPT says. And then ChatGPT always also asks, would I like to know some notable achievements of Michael Pentard? And why not? Let's look. Let's see. Let's
Because
see.
don't forget that the Prime Minister accused him of not having a real job.
Yeah, let's see what Michael Clifton Pentard has done. Michael Pentard has built a multifaceted career in Bahamian public life, spanning politics, literature, and community development. Here are some of his most notable achievements. Political leadership, leader of the opposition since November 2021. Member of Parliament from Marco City since 2017, with a 57% vote rate. Served as the Minister of Agriculture and Marine Resources 2018 to 2021. Okay. Literary and cultural contributions. Published several works including Still Standing, Follow Your Dream, and Politrix. Co-created and performed theatrical productions like Men Talk and Woman Talk, which became some of the longest running and best attended in Bahamian history. Professional and civic engagement, would you look at that? Holds a degree in agronomy from the Tuskegee University and agricultural economics from McGill University, plus certifications in compliance and anti-money laundering. He worked in urban planning, broadcasting, and consultancy, including founding the Congo Town Development Limited to support housing in urban centers. He served as organizational development manager for major Grand Bahama infrastructure entities like the Airport Company and the Freeport Container Port. Isn't that wonderful? See, so brave, now we know. Now we know what Michael Pentard does do. So we also talked a little bit about tracking immigrants to the country, right?
That's important. That's very important.
Not as important as this. Let's go to the story with the tourist that was fined the $15,000 for bringing an illegal weapon and ammunition into the country.
Meantime, an American businessman being fined some $15,000 for failing to declare a licensed firearm while on a boating trip to the Bahamas. Gerardo Delfin, a Miami-based contractor, he has a company. He's a co-owner. He paid the fine to avoid a potential 30-month prison sentence. He pleaded guilty to possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition during his arraignment before Magistrate Lennox Colby Sr. Lead prosecutor Inspector Kingsley Wilson telling the court that officers with the Royal Bahamas Police and Defense Force boarded a vessel docked at the Atlantis Marina on June 30th. It's there they reportedly discovered a H&K 40 pistol and 2 magazines, each loaded with 10 rounds of unused ammunition. He reportedly told police that his wife had cleared customs but did not declare the weapon, claiming she was unaware he had brought it for personal protection. Now, his attorney, Alfonso Lewis, informed the court that Delfin holds a valid Florida concealed carry permit expiring in the next 2 years. Magistrate Colby noted that the firearm was discovered shortly after his arrival and that he had a 48 window to declare. Taking this into account, the court has determined a prison sentence was not appropriate.
Do you remember where you heard that the first time you heard it? Do you remember where you heard the first time? Where were you when you heard that the Commissioner of Police or the Minister of National Security should consider starting a Marina unit with dogs specifically for the purpose of detecting undeclared firearms? Where did you hear that?
You said that. I think you did it.
Yeah. The goal here on Freedom March is to inform, to educate, and to entertain. Where were you when you heard that the fine for these things are quite nominal, depending on how you consider what is an excessive fine? If the fella is on a yacht, he's probably on a $2, $3, $12, $18 million yacht. It's reasonable to believe that he has at least $1 million in liquid cash.
If he's on it?
Yeah. Anybody on any one of them yachts, it is reasonable to believe. No, he doesn't have to be the captain. I told you before that sometimes the captain and the owner are not the same person.
Okay.
I also told you that sometimes the captain has no idea who the owner is. And I also told you that there are times that people come on board the vessel and the captain claims that he didn't know that they brought their firearm from America. And I'm telling you that there are many times that those weapons move to this country and no one tracks them. Where were you when you heard that the first time?
Right here.
Okay, where were you when you heard for the first time that some of these people come in, they do not declare, and when the discovery is made, there is no jail time considered. Usually there is a fine associated.
You said it all one evening right on the same station, so.
The goal here at Freedom March is to inform, to educate, and to entertain. We do not joke when we say we are trying to free or unleash the minds of the masses. It is because we want to ensure that the people that live in this society continue to think about ways to keep it safe. And I've said before, I will say again, it is my hope that one day, see, because I remember in another incarnation of my life, right? And the word I was looking for when I was talking about Dr. Nicholas Fox, the word is a pun. There is a pun. That is the English figurative language terminology. I tell you, it's in my brain. I just need time to shake it out. But in my other life, in the other incarnation of my life, when I was a younger person, I recall running into these things too often. I recall running into situations where someone is charged more money for illegally fishing in the Bahamas than for his wife to be in possession of a concealed weapon on shore, which a cruising or sailing permit doesn't allow her. And a lot of the rich people like to say, oh, I wasn't aware my husband did this. Oh, I wasn't aware that my wife did this. I'm willing to bet that they're probably Americans. Because the Yankees, they like to tote weapons. And I don't disagree with them. Because Pookie them has told their weapon. All I'm saying is we have to figure out a more succinct, linear, a more deliberate way of tracking the movement of those weapons. Because I can tell you what will happen sometimes. Sometimes, depending on the composition of the owner-captain relationship, the owner might leave his weapon because he has to take an emergency flight out of Nassau. So he knows that he can't carry it through the airport. Are you following me? He leaves that weapon on board the vessel. He's not the owner of that vessel. The captain takes that vessel into Exuma. 3 days later, someone say that they broke into the yacht, yeah?
Carry the weapon.
The weapon is now lost. Pookie them go file off the serial number. And guess what you now have? A ghost weapon.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah. So
And so we've got to figure out, we've got to lend a little bit more of our mind to this. Commissioner of Police, Shanta Knowles, I see you taking picture with the Governor General, and oh, you look so splendid. I mean, absolutely, magnificent. I still disagree with this hideous national medal that they continue to make female officers wear. It doesn't make... Someone on the National Awards Committee, hear me. If you are going to give medals to law enforcement officers, you have to take into consideration that the law enforcement officer has to wear a uniform, which means all of the medals should look identical. There is no need to make medals for law enforcement or public servants gender specific, particularly in the law enforcement and armed agencies, because we don't look at gender. When they tell me they sending me 17 Marines, I don't care what their fixtures are. I looking for boots. And so if you give medals, I'm not saying that you can't have a female medal versus a male medal. if you're giving it to civilians. But for all of the female officers that have gotten the national, what do you call the medal? Order of the whatever that is, merit? Just give them the regular medal. Just give them, it looks quite silly that the commissioner of police and her two female assistant commissioners that have this thing, have this big, where they could put their next medal when they get it. There ain't no more space. You got this big bow tie on this woman uniform. We should amend that. That requires amending. All right?
Indeed.
Yeah. And so, what was I talking about before the medal?
About we got to find a way to track the movement of
So
these.
we have to find a way to track the movement of these guns throughout this town because I just think they get away with it too slackly. And I could tell you that there are times when some of these yachts have in excess of 5 weapons on board.
Wow.
Yes. A matter of fact, some of them have very high-powered weapons.
Yeah,
on board.
and they do need them as they
I don't disagree.
maneuver through the seas because of piracy, you know.
Man, if Pookie have a gun, why I can't have one?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, if you are a responsible gun holder, then you ought to make sure that your gun never finds itself in the protecting your weapon. That is my position. If Pookie can kill you, then let him kill you. But do not let Pookie take a gun off of your living body. That's my position. Anyway, so I see that the men of Entry 17, you have the pictures from the government house. Let's put this up. I have to talk about my friends because they're my friends. I see the men from Entry 17 paid a courtesy call on Her Excellency, the Governor General, Dame Cynthia Pratt, Order of the Nation. And there they are, 40 years later. They presented her with a painting. And there is Oral Wood, my lead instructor when I was in training. The Cyborg, affectionately, he was called. I don't know what this painting is about, but I'm sure the Governor General will put it in a room with all other pieces of random paintings that she's gotten since she's been the Governor General. And wasn't there one more picture? And so they went to commemorate their 40th anniversary as public servants and as people that have served the military. And some of them are actually still active duty. I see among them there are a couple of them that have since retired. Who is there that I could see? Terrence Gunny Smith, Big Beef, Corned Beef, Force Chief Petty Officer Gibson, and a Luther boy. I think this entry had several Luther guys in it. Lincoln Roll, and then there's let me tell you this other thing about the Defense Force. Sometimes the only thing you could recall is people's nickname, right? So I see Bull, but I know his real name is Force Chief Petty Officer G.G. Simmons. Do not ask me what the G for. Who else is among this group? Johnny Roll. I could see Jonathan Roll is there. Chappie. Kevin Seymour is also there. Man, I love Kevin Seymour so much. When I was a young running gun and I served in the Land and Sea Park, I just locking up people in the name of the crown every day. We didn't miss a day. Chappie Seymour, he ain't lock up nobody. But boy, he could cook a mean piece of steak and eggs for breakfast in the morning every day. And he was fantastic. And then, of course, I see among them Delman Roll, who at one time it had been alleged was a genius. I don't know if that is still the case. 40 years removed, or if anyone has checked in the last, 38 years or so. I'm not sure. But certainly, he was one time rumored to have been a whiz kid. And so that is who makes up the men and women an all-male entry. And they were the last entry, this is a bit of history, they were the last male entry before the first female entry. Does that make sense to you?
Okay.
It does make sense?
No.
Yeah. Since them, the Defense Force introduced women, 1985. So I think they were something like March, and then the first female entry was, I think, October of that year. All right? And I also want to talk about the hero. Open the phone lines. The hero that was laid to rest yesterday, Inspector Lennox Williams. Let's go to the story of the laying to rest of the police inspector, who I believe even posthumously should be given a Medal of Gallantry. Eh? Take me to the story.
Switching gears tonight, a community in mourning today as final respects were paid to fallen Reserve Police Officer Lennox Williams, who was tragically killed during a robbery. The emotional farewell comes just days after several individuals were charged in connection with his murder. Arlington Ritchie Jr. attending the service today and filed this report.
Grief hung heavy inside Christchurch Cathedral Wednesday morning as the casket of Police Reservist Inspector Lennox Williams rested in the aisles surrounded by loved ones, fellow officers and national leaders paying tribute to a man many call reliable, humble and brave. Williams was tragically killed in a daylight robbery gone wrong on Father's Day at the Palmdale Shopping Plaza. One of the alleged attackers was also fatally shot during the incident. Commissioner of Police Shanta Knoll said Inspector Williams made the ultimate sacrifice while trying to protect himself and others from armed criminals.
Even in his final moments, his courage and selflessness shone through.
Prime Minister Philip Davis remembered Williams as a dedicated public servant who wore many hats within the office of the Prime Minister, from driver to technical advisor.
Many high-tech presentations and Zoom meetings at the Cabinet Office were courtesies of Mr. Williams' technical expertise.
Calling the tragedy outraging, disheartening and shocking, the Prime Minister said those responsible didn't just take a life, they ripped a hole in a family.
No parent, wife or child deserves the shock and horror the Williams family endured.
And in her closing remarks, Commissioner Knowles stressed that Williams honored his oath to serve with integrity even in his final moments.
His story is far richer than uniforms and medals. Inspector Williams was the essence of what it means to serve.
Meantime, 2 people have been formally charged in connection with his death. Ronald Telford has been charged with murder and armed robbery, while his girlfriend, Antoinette Henfield, is charged with accessory after the fact. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
You know that I had... Oh. Wow.
Great.
Yeah. And so you know that I had my own concerns that we'd gotten Telford. Is it okay if I call him Telly Runks?
I don't know.
I can't call him Telly Runks?
No, don't do that.
Because you want me to call him
The
Ronald?
family may not want that.
Ronald. So we got Ronald Telford, and then we got, what the woman name? The woman...
Oh, no, I forgot her
Who
name.
look like she from Monsters, Inc.
I forgot her name.
Well, anyway, her hair does anyway.
The lady doing the driving?
With the hair that look like
Doing the
Monsters, Inc.
driving, right?
Yeah. So we got her with accessory after the fact. But then I also noticed that I don't recall the police ever giving the name of the suspect that had been shot and killed. You remember I said that?
Yeah, he's not identified as
Well,
that.
no, he is identified.
Oh,
I
really?
see that do we have the clip? I see that one of the dailies reported his name as being Joseph Sinclair. Yeah.
I see.
Well,
Boy, I tell you,
take that.
you're in trouble.
Yeah. So there you have it. So Telly Runks and Sinclair, I don't know what they can call him. Probably tall boy. He look like he's kind of tall. Yeah, they were responsible for the death of Inspector Williams. And I tell you, even posthumously, I want them to give Williams like a bus or something. I don't know, just something, because that is how it ought to end. And I wish it had ended even with even more of a cavalering story. I wish he had gunned them all down. I would happily take his death. Soldiers die. That's what happens to them. But I wish that in his excavation, he had excavated all of them from the face of this earth. Because you know that if I become Prime Minister, I want to make abortions legal to 21. And Telly Runks here, he too old to abort. So since he too old to abort, I think people like Inspector Williams should remove him and his thumbprint from the face of the earth. But that's just what I believe. But if you'll ever let me be Prime Minister, you see that 16-year-old son you got there that can't level out, just abort him. And we will accept it as a society. Yeah, I'll write it into law and then you all could go and change it after you all vote me out. Don't move. Freedom March will be right back. Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. I'm Levan Miller. Thank you for staying with us. It's 103.5, The Beat FM. Is Tanya on the line? Tanya, hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Miller. Good afternoon, spiritual advisor. It's your girl, Tanya, coming to you live from Shop Smart Department Store, your miracle, right here at number 122 Marquis Street, where we say we're here for you for whatever season of your life and everyday living. We are having our 50% off blowout summer fun sale. Yes, you can get 50% off on all of our summer fun items, from beaching and boating items. I am talking about whether you need to come on into Shop Smart and get your floaties, your goggles, your life vest. Maybe you want to play outside in the yard and you need to get your pools. We have inflatable pools here, also 50% off. We have got the floaties, all 50% off. Your armbands, 50% off. You can come on in and get your backyard games, also 50% off, because we want everybody outside in the yard, outside on the beach, having fun this summer. So all of your kites, your skipping rope, all of your water balloons, your water guns. Listen, we've got all of your bubbles, whether you get them in character or the regular bubbles, they're all 50% off. We want you saving. We want you satisfied. We want you smiling. Come on into Shop Smart, your miracle, right here on Mackey. We're open Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. for your shopping convenience. But if you can't come in the store, you can shop with us online at www.shopsmart242.com. You can do all your shopping there. We deliver to the boat of your choice and right here in Nassau. Remember, Shop Smart is here for you. You can like and follow us on all our social media platforms. Mr. Munka, spiritual advisor. Remember, shop early, shop often, shop smart.
Hello, welcome back to Freedom March. I'm Levan Miller. And Bradley Rule, the spiritual advisor, is still with me. Hello again, Bradley.
Yes, absolutely. Good to be here.
So you heard me talk about Big Bad Chad, yeah? Do we have a picture of Big Bad Chad? Chad Adams and the Waist Snatching Brigade. I tell you, they running a tight race against that Leon Lundy and the Han and Kimber Brigade. They're my two favorite brigades, you know that?
Okay.
When you see Jomo have problems out on that Arawaki, whether it be fire hydrant water problems, or whether it be problems with the Frenchman, or any other man out there, all Jomo need do is send a little signal, and up from the bushes, unbeknownst to them, out jumps Big Bad Chad. Show us Big Bad Chad Adams.
Where is he?
There he is. He don't look like he could snatch up a waist.
No.
Boy, if he snatch you by your waist, spiritual advisor, you'll have hell to tell where your waist start and where your shoulder stop. Because that's exactly where the waist of your pants
He don't look like that kind of.
Oh, he don't mess around. Okay. He don't mess around, I tell you. And so I want to say a special hello to Chief Immigration Officer Chad Adams. All right? Let's go to the phone lines. Give them the number, spiritual.
323-7775 is the number to call, 698-0775, and of course 698-0776.
Let me also say I don't have no more ticket to give out, so, oh boy. Yeah, that's kind of tough. But we'll see what's happening. I see there's another murder in Eleuthera. I don't know what's happening now, but yeah, we got
Harbour Island.
We got to wrap our hand around it. And Harbour Island only 2 by 2. It really ain't no space there to murder nobody.
Yeah,
so
but it's like a tourist kind of place, like.
Yeah, it's interesting.
323-7775. You have any calls, producer?
And remember, my whistle, I even have it around my neck today. So, you know, crazy people, you welcome today too, all right? But just in case, be advised that I have my whistle. Because Braves say, keep my whistle with me just in the event something look little off. And at any point, something start to look little off to me, beloved. You think they could Photoshop this and say I was holding up the PLB sign? I just have to think about these things, you know. Just in case something look little off about this, beloved. I have my whistle with me. And it works. You see this? So let every man walk in accordance to God's holy ordinance here today. 323-7775. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Mr. Miller, good afternoon, spiritual advisor.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you?
Mr. Miller, I just wanted to ask, were you the person Mr. Munka selected to step in while he was having his procedures done?
That was a management decision.
Oh, no, I thought Mr. Munka had selected you because I wanted to congratulate Mr. Munka and yourself for doing an awesome job.
I think you're very kind.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right, take care. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Hello?
Hi.
Hello.
Turn your radio down, caller.
Yes, hello?
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Miller and Mr. Roll. How are you today?
Yes, ma'am. We're doing well. Thank you so much.
Okay. I have three questions for Mr. Miller.
Wow. Okay.
First, Mr. Miller. I wonder why Bahamian and foreigners disrespect the Bahamian law, and when they go to America, they honor their laws to the T. Example, all of us travel. We know when we hit that rental car company.
The seatbelt on from the garage.
When that agent put that key in our hand, what the next thing we do?
Seatbelt.
What the next thing we do when that agent put that key in our hand?
From you sit in the chair,
We
seatbelt.
all buckle up. But in Nassau, if the policeman catch you on the road without your seatbelt, we curse him out and carry on.
You want to know why he don't go fight crime?
For the Bahamian law. Now all of us travel.
Cut your radio down a little bit for me, caller.
And pardon me?
Cut your radio down a little bit for me.
Yeah, turn your TV down or something.
Okay. All of us, okay, we turn. Okay, we fine now?
Yeah, we good.
Okay. Secondly, we all travel in America, and we travel those highways.
Yes, ma'am.
We find miles and miles of barren land. But have you ever seen a shanty town in those areas?
Nope.
Why? They respect American law, but they don't have no respect for Bahamian law.
Yeah.
And I know, me and you know where the shanty towns are. So if we know where the shanty towns are, don't you think the government them know where the shanty towns are?
Yeah, they do.
They do. And I think
And that they would do nothing, and they would build, and what we do?
Well, Minister Clay Sweden has been doing a pretty decent
trying
job
to
of
dismantle them, yeah.
He
dismantling them.
We tried to dismantle them, and what happened?
I think now they're moving into urban areas.
Yeah, they're getting apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then there's still many shanty towns. Go then on Cowpen Road, there's a farmer's market.
Yes.
Those people have business license for those those shops.
Farmers. Oh, you mean on the side of the road, selling all the planting and the fruits and stuff, tomatoes? Yeah, I think they probably do have. They've been there for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah, they probably
But I
do
am
have.
just trying to show you
Yes, ma'am.
how the foreigners disrespect the Bahamian law, and you watch them in America. They honor the American law to the T.
Enforcement.
Why is that?
Enforcement.
So why can't we enforce our laws?
Oh, it kind of lackadaisical, I guess.
I mean, I think everyday law enforcement officers out there enforcing the law, you realize that our forces are pretty small, you know, and so and a lot of them are multi deployed. So, for instance, the Commander of Defense Force has to have Marines in Andres. He have to have some in Grand Bahama. So the archipelago stretches our resources, and prime ministers have complained about this. Like when they go to CARICOM, you have prime ministers that talk about needing funding, etc. But these prime ministers got one airport and they got one hospital. But in the Bahamas, because of its makeup, everywhere you go, you've got to duplicate the thing.
Okay.
So sometimes that poses a bit of a challenge. Not an excuse, They should get the job done. That's why we pay them. But, you know, from time to time, I imagine that they are turning their attention to some things.
Okay.
Yeah.
In America, can you get a false passport?
Well, anywhere humans exist, you
Yeah,
can get
yeah,
something
you,
fraud.
yeah, you get
You
it.
can get one in America?
Yeah, man, what you mean? Of course.
But I imagine there are checks and balances.
Like, so-
Saying you was an American?
It depends.
yeah,
It
wherever
depends.
corruption is. Wherever you find corruption, you get anything done.
And wherever humans is or are,
But I am just trying to
that's
show
where the
you the
corruption is.
difference of disrespect
No, I completely agree. Thank you
people
very much,
have
Carla.
for the Bahamian law.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I agree.
We appreciate
I agree.
you.
Thank you very much, caller.
Thanks so much, caller.
Let's take another one. 323-7775. The lines are lit up. Let's take another phone call. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March. Call you there. Let's take another one. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Hi.
Good afternoon.
Good
Mr.
afternoon.
Miller
Present.
and spiritual advisor.
Yes.
How are you?
Doing well.
I just want to clarify something.
Mm-hmm.
The man with the read the red Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 92 to 97, there was a photo you sent around. My grandmother always say, don't talk everything. But when you see them put their hand on their mouth and their hand, their kimber and scratch their ass, they think it's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The 92 to 97,
Mm-hmm.
Papa came in.
Right.
Those bathrooms were not fixed from then.
Mm-hmm.
I was there. And 2016, Minutes came with
Right.
Shannon on cash rights.
Mm-hmm.
Still did not fix it. Don't care how you complain, they don't fix them.
Mm-hmm.
So now today the bathrooms are looking quite well. That's my opinion. And I was one of the top janitors. When you see the men was hard to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So I would break up the blocks,
Mm-hmm.
put it in that urine thing,
Mm-hmm.
and put a bucket of water right there with a pail for them to flush it when they fix it. But it was so hard because when they go in the woman room, they mess it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They didn't do that. So when that get out of hand, then you would take those black plastic bags and tie it around it.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of pictures taken just like yours. So that piece there with those bathrooms, they've been like that from 92.
Right.
So right now, the bathrooms are looking quite well. Shannon Owen came in and he didn't fix it. All they was, I never know. Parks used to make all that money because I was there from roads and parks, beach and parks. I never know they used to make all that money. They was only into the money, sir.
Wow.
So the bathrooms, they're getting fixed now. They wasn't like, they was ever like that. Them pictures what you took.
Yeah.
Because I had plenty pictures like that.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day.
You too. And all I want to say to the caller, all I want to say is one thing. What I want to say, spiritual advisor.
I don't know what she was talking about, but anyhow.
See the pictures you put up? With
Yeah,
the
but you
urinals and
explained, her explanation was different from yours.
Her explanation is that they've always been like that, but at least now they're getting fixed.
But your explanation is that those...
The parts are hard to source.
Okay.
That was
But
my
tho-
explanation.
But those parts are not from 92.
No, but what she's saying is that there was a time when it used to just be like that, and no one used to try to fix it. But you know what I want to say to you, spiritual advisor? Praise be to God. All we do was hire Jomo. And when we hire Jomo, the things just start getting fixed. Why? I bet you can't tell me.
I don't know.
Because Jomo...
It's like Tide.
It's like Omo, and he's for all your tough jobs, spiritual advisor. Do not live in denial. Jomo could fix things. Let's take another call.
Jomo, you hear what this man say, right?
Jomo is like Omo.
Jomo, this man said you could fix things.
Yeah.
Listen, don't forget the conversation we had by the doctor's graduation.
That's why you talking your personal business.
Fix that. All right? Welcome to Freedom March, caller. You're live.
Oh boy, this spiritual advisor is not safe. Hello, caller.
Are you there, caller?
Yeah, I could be.
Hey.
Yes, hello. I'm calling in. I was very impressed. Labor Day. On Labor Day. Somebody in calling on this. Yeah, Labor Day, I was very impressed. I went in the bathroom there.
Caller, give me a call back. Your phone call coming in kind of broken and distorted. You know, I know you don't own the phone company. You only own the phone device. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hello?
Hi. That's us. Hey, caller.
Hello?
Hey, you there?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I go online now?
You are.
You're live.
Yes.
No,
All right, let's move on.
Something's happening. I don't know. 6980777. Don't take no more calls?
No, he don't have any more calls.
Oh, you don't have no more calls. So that's good. That means you all two people can call us back. 323-7775, 698-0775. And spiritual advisor, I want to double back to that Marina unit. I think that is very, 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 very paramount to our success in this war against illicit or illegal firearms finding its way into our streets. I think that is a bigger problem than we've ever considered. And we have to put our hands on that.
All right, so who's in charge of maritime?
No, I think the Commissioner of Police needs to lead that effort. Yeah, she needs to lead that effort. Because, you know, she have this. Remember now, there's an opportunity to have plenty of voice. She's a voice woman, you know what I mean? And she can just have one bunch of voice. So since you have one bunch of voice, just make that voice.
So when these yachts entered the Bahamian territorial waters,
they make a declaration.
Now, can the Defense Force search them?
Yes, of course. That's how they find this gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can go in any vessel if they want to.
Yeah, that's what the back of their Defense Force ID says.
But now the reality is these vessels, they profile them. Because if they see a 150, if you see a $150 million yacht, you may say,
oh, no, I don't know what you did. You thought this was Sesame Street. Spiritual advisor, when I was one of His Majesty's men, let me tell you
that don't make no sense.
The one thing I love is when people say things to me like, take off the government shoes to board their vessel. You going crazy? You know what I tell the man who told me that? Beloved, here is your line of redress. You write Elizabeth Regina, because these are shoes. And she tell me to put them on. So if you have a problem with my baits, my standard issued Defense Force shoes, well, my friend, you have a problem. Here's what I recommend you do.
So you're going to desecrate the man's private space with your shoes?
Boy, he is in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and as one of His Majesty's men, I have a fiduciary obligation to the protection of the territorial integrity of this Commonwealth. So if you have a problem with my government-issued, service-issued shoe, you write your complaint from here all the way to Buckingham Palace.
What if you damage the man's carpet doing it?
Then you send the bill to Buckingham Palace. But I'm not taking off my shoe, and I'm also not boarding this vessel. So, Captain, please put your weapons in the bridge. Please put your crew on the aft, and please stand by to be boarded. Don't do what on the wheel? Well, you got to be losing your mind. Profile. Mister, when I was in Bimini, you know, I'm still on record. I don't like to brag with these. I'm still on record for having one of the most costly arrests in Bimini for illegally fishing in the exclusive fishery zones of the Bahamas. And I see the fella and his son throwing line, and they got their hand in their kimber like Leon Lundy, and they throwing line. And when I swoop in on them, spiritual advisor, I said, in the name of the crown, come this way, son. And we took them in the cat key, and when we whapped them across their head with that fine, all the fella do is reel up his fishing line and going right back to Florida. Good, go get more money. But what you will not do is threaten the territorial integrity of this Commonwealth. Or not while I have breath. No, sir, that will not happen. And I trust that every other member of the organization is trained to do the exact thing. Hello, caller, welcome to Freedom March. Caller, you there? 323-7775, 698-0775. Hello, caller, welcome to Freedom March. I don't know what's happening.
We lost all the calls.
Yeah.
We got a couple more minutes. We got 9 minutes, eh? Or so, 7 minutes to go.
Yeah.
323-7775 is the number to call, 698-0775. And number 698-07.
Well, I hear the phone lines ringing. I don't know what's happening while the calls aren't coming through. Yeah, so that is what happened. That is what happened. We call you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's everything?
Everything's great, sir. I want to read you this in code. You could understand because you work where I worked before.
Go ahead.
Where I'm working now.
Mm-hmm.
I serve in Haiti, and I serve in all these islands. I've been on all islands, just like you. But I'm telling you right now, if our country don't look out, in the next 15 years, these people them are invading our country.
Next 15 years?
10 years.
You mean now?
I've been
You
on
mean
all
now?
the islands.
You mean now, eh?
And I'm working in all the islands, back and forth. And I can tell you right now, sir, believe it or not, Bahamians, them, we finish.
Wow.
They don't take the country from us. The Haitians, them, rule this country.
Wow.
And we have a government who is saying he's part of them. We did not vote for no government that say he's a Haitian. And I'm really disappointed in the Prime Minister saying something like that.
Wow.
I am a Marine, and I can tell you right now, sir, our country is gone. Our country is no more Bahamians. Our country is totally Haiti. Guaranteed.
Wow.
Take my advice, sir. But I got to get off because I don't want the people who I work with.
I can look into that.
No.
Let me look at it. Do well, Solio.
All right.
Wow.
So listen, soft hands. I have to come home and make 2 Bahamian tonight. Bradley, will you go home and make 2 Bahamians with me?
No, I can't.
Well, not with me. You go to your house, I go into my house.
Yeah.
And I can make 2 Bahamian. I got enough to do 2. And I am inviting...
That's how we solve the problem?
And
You're too far behind for that now.
Well, then that's why you make them 2 at a time.
You
And I'm inviting all women of breeding age. You call that man tonight and you tell him, Mister, come and make 2 Bahamians because we have a country to save. And I just want everybody to go home tonight and make 2 Bahamian. Madoni Jane Child, not you.
Welcome to Freedom March. Call your life.
Yes. Hello.
Hey, caller.
Hi.
Hello.
I have a question for the spiritual advisor.
Yes, ma'am.
If you are in the United States and you have a yacht and the police board your yacht in the United States, do you think you have enough guts to tell them take off their shoes because you don't want them to mess up your carpet?
You could do that.
That is ludicrous.
No, but you could do that, though. People, they do it all the
You
time.
cannot do that. How could you do that?
Ma'am,
When you go to the
ma'am,
United States,
ma'am.
you on the rules.
They do
you
it.
will
They do
never
not.
come up against the police in the United States. So the same thing that applies to the United States applies to the Bahamas.
You're right.
Secondly, where
Wait,
you
hold on.
have
Put on hold.
humor.
Put on hold for a second. Ma'am, here's what I'm saying. It may not be right for them to do it, but they do it. All I'm telling you is that the man has a right. It is his yacht.
No.
And he says, listen, before you come on my yacht, or if you're gonna come inside the yacht, could you please take your shoes? He can ask you. You don't have to obey it.
Yeah. So he asked, and I say no.
So don't get on me. I'm just telling you what they do. I mean,
they do not.
It may not be right.
They do not do that. The U.S. Coast Guard board these people all the time, and the Coast Guard tenants tie up almost the mid-calf.
Yeah.
You think they take them off?
Yeah, because she
Right
riled me.
to Elizabeth. Let's hear the caller. Let's go, caller. What else you have to say?
Yeah.
She going
But
to
if you come on my yacht, I can tell you to take your shoes off.
Well, then all you could
You
be
don't have to, but I can tell you to take it
You
off.
could be very mad. As a matter of fact, since you feel so strongly about it, I wish you'll come take His Majesty's shoes off of my foot.
No. I'm asking you to take it off. If you don't take it off, that's fine.
You come take it off. Because they told me to defend the issue with all of my might. And you don't know how much might I got in this foot, beloved. Hello, caller. Welcome to Freedom March.
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good.
Good day, spiritual advisor.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm okay.
Great.
Mr. Miller.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're Marine. The Marine that called us now, he showed you up, man. He's on the ground. He said exactly what's happening in this country. You're on the radio. You're chucking off on us, avoiding the real issues in this country, talking nonsense. This country, you ain't got no love for this country. You've been on the defense force. You got to be a Haitian, man.
Or maybe your mommy is one, because
No,
I don't know how you
Haitian.
identify Haitians.
Louis Jordan,
I don't
you
understand
are
how you
Haitian.
identify Haitians. Are you a Haitian identification expert?
A Haitian.
Maybe you come from Haitian parentage, right? And because your mommy is a Haitian, you don't understand why I wouldn't just say I'm a Haitian.
Yeah,
I don't have to say I'm a Haitian because my granddaddy's from Auckland. The next one is from Andres. The 2 of my grandmothers are from Andres. So I have no clue what you're talking about. And I think, hold on, and I think you haven't inside fevers that making your brain go crazy. So while I'm blowing the whistle on crazy woman today, crazy man, power fall on you. And that's how I feel about it. I'll tolerate crazy woman here today, but crazy man them, I don't play with man. How you feel?
How much seconds we got, producer?
How you feel with that? Cause he, mommy, the only way he'd be able to be a Haitian identification expert
But you know,
as if his mom is a Haitian.
You know you can't do that.
But how else would he know?
You cross the line when you start.
There's no impediment for somebody's mommy being a Haitian. There's no impediment for somebody's mommy being a Bahamian, a Zimbabwean, if that's a real thing, or anything in.
You don't say that's your mom. That's
anyway, that's the jingle. Oh well, I didn't say it. Oika, y'all blow your whistle now. I'm leaving Miller. This is Freedom March. We'll see you right here again tomorrow.
If it's the Lord's will, we'll be back.